How's it going, you guys, and welcome to your morning cup. We understand that Israel and Hamas have finally come to a ceasefire agreement which the whole world rejoiced over after 11 days of fighting that killed 232 people. The truce was mediated by Egypt, and the fighting that had erupted on May the 10th finally comes to an end. And as soon as this information came out, we also understood the fact that there were clashes between the Palestinian protesters and Israeli police at the Al-Aqsa Mosque compound, which is one of the most holiest mosques in all of Islam. We also understand the fact that people came on out of the roads to celebrate across the world. But was it a little too late? Was it a little too late for all of those homes that were destroyed, all of those lives that were lost, 240 people that died in Gaza, including children, women, information houses like Al Jazeera's bureau was destroyed in Gaza by a missile strike, and numerous other casualties that followed suit. The sheer economic impact that this war had on one side is significantly way more different than the impact that it had on the other. The US also under intense scrutiny from the right. Joseph Biden has finally agreed to the fact that he will be going out of his way to replenishing the Iron Dome ammunitions. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu shared with me his appreciation, is what Biden said. He said that our nations had developed the Iron Dome system together, efficiently intercepted thousands of rockets that were fired from Gaza, but as well as some other places. Mentioning the fact that rockets were fired from other places only dictates towards one fact that, well, by all aspects of the imagination, Biden is not done trying to figure out going against Israel when they had the right opportunity to. Certain strikes from Lebanon were well unmotivated. The ICMR chief explains why a gap between two Covaxin doses was not increased. You see, in the middle, the whole news broke out about people increasing the gaps to 12 weeks between two doses of the vaccine. Well, that's not exactly the case anymore. ICMR chief Dr. Balram said that the immunity after its first shot wasn't very high. After he got the first shot of the Covaxin, it wasn't very high. But antibody responses kick in only after the second dose. With the Covishield, immunity after the first shot is quite strong. So that's the discrepancy between the two vaccines that are currently, well, at the forefront of trying to get to the people and ensure that the entire base is vaccinated. Another thing that popped up into the news was the fact that after the Kumbh Mela, that was a super spreader event, now another super spreader event is apparently going to go down, and that is something known as the Char Dham. What we understand is that the Uttarakhand High Court has criticized the state over COVID-19 protocol violations and said that first you did the Kumbh Mela, that was a super spreader event, now you want to do the Char Dham, that is a super spreader event. Why do we repeatedly cause embarrassment to ourselves on the global spectrum? In videos we abundantly see that priests aren't following social distancing, and by those aspects nobody is. We also move on to the fact that Russia just sanctioned a threat, an open threat to the rest of the world, stating that President Putin put out a statement dictating that everyone would like to bite us somewhere or bite off some part of us. They should know that we knock the teeth out of those people that try to do that, so they can't bite no more. This comes out as tensions between Russia and China rise with territory near Mongolia and such, and turns out that Russia and by no means is going to put the loss of territory into the equation when it comes to gaining trust, friendship and loyalty from China against the United States. We understand that a new mammal species with dense fur and thick, darker tail was well discovered in India. Well, a brand new species of mammal called the Crocidura narcodermica is a brand new species, the 12th species of the mammalian charts, and well, it's medium sized. It's got dark grey dense fur and a thick dark tail. Looks like a rat but isn't a rat. Might just be one of those super mutated rats from way back in the day, but turns out that this is one of the very old species that has been around the Indian subcontinent for a while. The latest discovery comes from the Narcodam Islands in India, and this volcanic island that's essentially the place where this animal has been living in for a long time, I'm guessing, seems to be the place of a lot of news recently. So we're going to talk about that when that comes into the little bit more of a factual realm of things rather than just base perceptions. A huge piece of ice fell from the sky and everyone was puzzled, including cops. And of course this happened in Florida because everything like that happens in Florida. In a Facebook statement, local sheriff department said that a chunk of ice fell from outside the sky No injuries were reported, but no one had any idea where in the Florida heat did a huge chunk of ice come from. Speculations are rising that aliens are bombarding us with ice too. Well, someone was carrying it in a helicopter, sneezed and dropped it. The final story of the day is a little heartfelt one. The leader of the Chipko movement, which was a movement to save trees left, right and center, was 94-year-old Sundarlal Bahuguna. And he died because of COVID-19. And a huge statement that was put out by this was that someone who spent his entire life trying to protect nature was taken away by a natural thing, which is poetic in some way, shape or form. Considering that he was 94 years old, he lived a full life, but he left a lasting impact, an impact that we all will sustain for as long as we can live, and hopefully pass down to future generations as well.